Alright, welcome back to my round 2 game of this month's REV GP. I'm playing 4-color Consonance against AdmiralIvy, who seems to be on some sort of no, it's blue-white control deck, because it has a bell tower. Yeah, of course it's a bell tower deck. I feel like I've been facing nothing but control decks recently. I'm on the play, sure, cool. So let's mulligan. Oh yeah, by the way, Cockroaches just got updated, so this is gonna be my first video after the update. There's some new key bindings and stuff, so I might be unfamiliar with the hotkeys because I've reset my hotkeys to get the new key bindings, and then apparently some of them also reset my custom hotkeys. Anyways, let's look at this hand and keep because I think it has what I want. Yeah, it's 2 pieces of ramp and some Fury Helions to really rub it in afterwards. And I don't have 1-drops, right? So no point in falling for a 1-drop. This thing's probably fetching forest, mountain, because I need to get double red for Fury Call. Gilded Court. Oh, cool. Alright, plains. So that does get me drift off mana eventually, and makes me better about fetching mountain, because that means I'm less likely to need this. It'll be hard. It's harder for me to get screwed off of double white eventually. Do I ram out my creature first or my my artifact first? I think I ram out the creature because it has summoning sickness, and even if I don't draw anything, I still get to attack with it next turn if it survives. So let me look at their deck. I'm still unfamiliar with all the cards because I basically did not look at the new set. Oh, they have instant speed Wrath for 4 mana. Wow. Huh. Oh, they're mana screwed. Okay, cool. I guess that's the sort of game this is gonna be. Running of the Bulls can come out next turn if this thing doesn't get answered, and it's less mana intensive than Fury Helion, so there's that. So I'm gonna play Chromatic card and see what I draw. Right. What color requirements do I have in my deck on 2? There isn't anything. Okay, sure. So I will just play this and attack if I don't draw anything good. Instant Living, cool. So yeah, that's for next turn, and it'll be untapped, right? I can name blue with it, and I can name red because I have these guys, and that's gonna be untapped, and I get to play Fury Helion and blow up their only land, hopefully, and make them feel extremely sad. Okay, they did get their second land drop, but are they going to be able to keep up a counter spell on 2? Because otherwise, Fury Helen comes down and blows up their land, and then they feel extremely sad. Seems like, okay, let me just look at their deck for a bit. Do they have any counters on 2? Omen of Deception. Oh, so that thing is that is a counter spell on 2. But that's still only 1, right? Yeah. All right, I'm going to run out Fury Helion, and it probably gets countered, but I'm happy with that outcome. I'll play this naming red. Okay, what's the new hotkey for setting an annotation? It's Command N? No, wait, that's oops. Alright, so that was embarrassing. Judge card resolved. Anyways, so hotkey is Alt N. Let me just try that again. Okay, yeah, there we go. So what? Red? Oh, what? Pressing return gives me a new. I have to manually press the OK button now? What? Why? Okay, well, sure. Well, do I run out running of the Bulls? Fury Call is extremely good if it manages to resolve. So it's gonna necessitate a counter spell. What are the chances that they are holding a 2-mana counter? I think it's really high because otherwise they wouldn't have kept, right? So I should run out running of the Bulls into the counter spell. I think yeah, I'll go with that logic. So does this get countered? I'm assuming the answer is yes. Seems like, yeah, I got the correct guess, or I managed to bait out the counter spell. But that does mean that they will be able to, well, if they top deck a land next turn, then they can play a 3-mana counter spell, which is what? Are they only running, Ifara's Judgment. So that thing counters, yeah, okay, so that is a counter spell. It's a modal counter spell even. So if they have enough devotion, let me just pull up the card. They're probably holding that card too, which is not looking great for me. But yeah, so this thing, it's a counter spell, but if you have enough devotion, then, so it's not even that hard to enable. Then you get to counter something and draw a card, which makes it actually just insane. Another drift off, which is not what I want. Well, I need to run out Fury Helion. I might as well get Fury Helion countered before they can enable devotion on Ifara's Judgment. They're thinking, which makes sense. And seems like they are going to... Oh, they have another Omen of Deception. Okay, cool. I guess if I drew a land this turn, I would have been able to pay for it. But I didn't, so I'm just going to have to pass here. They are getting back into the game. Okay, they fetch out of Plains. They're at 4 mana now, so they have the instant speed Wrath. What's that call again? Yeah, so I need to worry about that thing. The good news is, oh, well, I think I'm just going to jam Fury Call Helion number 3, right? Well, it's pretty likely that they have the Wrath, but if I want to play Asahai, I need to stack my Chromatic shard for it, and if they counter it, then I feel really bad, right? But it plays around the Wrath. Like, well, I can attack with this guy this turn. Am I alright if this guy just gets answered? But I think I am, because so they tap out for the Wrath, they untap next turn, I play Ass High next turn. Well, yes, keeping Chromatic Shard around also makes it easier for me to cast Silver Sound Ancient in the future if I draw one more land. Yeah, in that case, I will run out Fury Call Hellion. I mean, it gets rid of a counter spell for Silver Sound Ancient later on, but it's still worth something even if it does get countered. They are going to counter it? Okay. Well, at least, yeah, this thing's out of the way before they manage to get the second mode onto it. And then I pass the turn again. This is your classic control deck, taking control of the game. And can I go over them? I don't think I can if it goes late. But they are losing a lot of life, so maybe that's something. Dormant Stream will make them lose even more life. And so what do they have on 5? Ifara, okay. So that thing... Do they have it in their Omen of Deception? Please tell me they don't. Well, it's not like I can do anything against that, so it's gonna resolve. Okay, they are tapping out, that's good. Course of Correction. So what? Gain life, get some creatures, draw a card. Oof. Okay, but they're finally tapped out, so I can... So if I draw a land next turn, I get to slam Silver Sound Ancient. Silver Sound Ancient probably blows up one of their lands, and I feel pretty happy about myself. If I don't draw an untapped land, then I have to... Oh. Can they kill this thing? What's their removal suite? They have Drift Offs too, okay. Do I just play out... How can they answer Asahai? They can't blow up the board, but that's not what they want to do, I don't think. Like, if they start drift offing, then I'm gonna start playing my own drift offs. Oh, I can't. I can also just play drift off now by sacking the Chromatic Shard, and that gets rid of Ifara, which is probably the scariest thing right now. And then I get to attack with Speaker of On. Does that do anything? I mean, it turns off their engine. I think it's actually worth getting rid of Ifara over really doing anything else right now. If I do that, then like I can't cast any spells because I'm Mana Screwed right now, and Chromatic Shard's the only thing that's letting me cast spells, so I should just play the most expensive thing and try to draw into answers, right? If I play Drift Off against Ifara, then they can play their own Drift Off, get rid of my Drift Off, but that's a good exchange for me because then I get to Drift Off their Drift Off later on. Yeah, I think I'm willing to get rid of Ifara. Tap like this. I've convinced myself, or have I? I should just play the big thing. Yeah, I should just play the big thing, right? If they have 2 Drift Offs to follow it up, then whatever. I wasn't gonna win the game anyways. Play Asahai. I have to remember what the hotkey is for counters. Well, this is embarrassing. So it turns out one of the new shortcuts overlaps with my OBS shortcut for stop recording. So I accidentally turned off recording and didn't notice until now. So I guess we're just coming back in the middle of a judge call later in the game. Basically what happened was it was a control matchup and we had some back and forth, and eventually we both threw a bunch of drift offs and had enough mana to kick them. Now we're entangling this mess where we didn't really pay attention to which drift offs were token and which ones were non-token, so then we just kept drift offing each other's drift offs, and now we have a bunch of drift offs in play and we don't remember. And then AdmiralIvy suddenly remembered that some of these guys should be tokens and they should vanish upon being exiled. Now we can't figure out which ones should actually be gone or not, and like it also affects the board state retroactively because some of the past plays might not have been possible if the drift offs didn't come back. So yeah. Definitely a messy situation to be in as a judge. And I guess I'll pause recording until a judge actually shows up because we've been waiting for a while. I guess I can talk about what I've done this game. Actually, how far did I manage to record before I accidentally pressed the hotkey? I did get up to playing Ass High, right? Because, yeah, the reason my recording stopped was because the hotkey for adding counters is the same hotkey, or adding colored counters is the same hotkey for stop recording in OBS. But yeah, so where's Ass High? Ass High is down there. Ass High resolved the on play. It stayed in play for a while, or it stayed in play for a turn, and then it got drift offed. In response, I kicked my own drift off, and then got rid of their drift off plus their Faras. And then the game went on for a bit, I think, and then they played their own kicked drift off, which got rid of my drift off both of my drift offs. And after that, I played my own kick. I got another kick drift off, which got rid of their drift offs, which got back my guy and got rid of Ifara, and then it went back and forth for a bit. Everything else got countered, I think. So yeah, certainly an interesting game. I'm glad that I promo drift off because I just realized that since it has multitudes, I can play it in a copy itself, so we can get extra copies of the art on the field for the value of 1 card. Okay, enough joking around. I'm gonna pause until the judge call resolves. Alright, judge call resolved. So we're just, since we can't roll back because nobody knows what's happening, we're just gonna see which ones are still tokens. And okay, so 2 of my guys are tokens. We're just gonna destroy all of the tokens all the copies that are still tokens. Is Ivy also gonna do their thing? Well, I think no matter what really happens here, basically, I only have one decision right now, which is, do I get Asahai back or do I get rid of Ifara? And I think the answer here is I want to get Asahai back because I get Asahai back, I +1. It's at 5 loyalty, it makes 2 tokens. They can jump Ifara. Even if my board gets wiped, Ifara can only take Asahai down to 1, so Asahai will always survive. Okay, and then we still have to do this one by one. Okay, so I guess they have... Okay, yeah. So this thing definitely hits that. Oh, and that poofs. Okay. Then I guess these guys are... Yeah. Well, that was certainly something. Yeah, certainly something. Okay, now let's get this guy up. Let's actually like continue the game, which is I do this, I get 2 2/2s, and I pass the turn. Let's see what they untap with. Basically, outside always survives unless they have drift off numbers, however many that was. I forgot by now. Drift off number 4, or some way to copy a drift off. Okay, so what are bad draws for me? Because lands are good, right? Yeah, well, so only green lands are good for me. Yeah, I need a green source. So basically it means that if I draw a non-green land or a non-blue land, that's a bad draw for me. Okay, maybe I should not have fetched forest there. Oh, come on. Fine, fine. Here's hoping I top deck a green land, because that would finally make it pay off. Right. Well, yeah, this is absolutely hilarious. Weapon is a token. Oh, what? Wait, right. Okay, which one's the token? Nope, that's not that one. Is it this one? Nope, that's not the token either. Okay, there we go, that's a token. So, I think the most hilarious card I could draw right now is another Drift Off, because that would start to chain all over again. Okay, at least Ifara's on cast and not on ETB, because otherwise that would have been a lot of enchantment ETBs. They're tapping out too. Ico's Legacy. Well, that's kind of scary, certainly. But at least it's slow, so I have 1 turn to top deck something. Well, if I top deck a land, I think Silver Sun has to kill the Ico's Legacy in order for me to not die. So, oh, course of correction. Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I have to kill this thing. Right. So here's hoping I draw a green land. Okay, that's absolutely the worst draw I could have. Well, not absolutely the worst, but definitely I got punished for fetching green instead of blue there. Because I could have slammed the Genesis Spiral and possibly drawn out of this, but now I can't. And now I have to, okay, what can I do? I can go on the offense. Is that worth? Yes, I should go on the offense right now. I have more life than them. And I can bring down, and I have, yeah, they're down to 8. So now Consonance is also a bad top deck. Oh, oops. When did I put, okay, I was on autopilot there. But now I think I lose because, yeah, this hand is not good for me. Kaleidoscope, sure. I think at this point, even being able to play Silver Sun Ancient is not going to be good enough because they most likely got a counter spell. Another Kaleidoscope, sure. I think there is definitely points in the game where I might have misplayed. But so playing Asahai on turn, or on that turn, I think that was correct. Genesis Spiral is definitely burning a hole in my pocket right now. Okay, now they're whacking me. Sure. At least I have a bunch of life to buffer me. They are kind of low right now. Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm assuming it's gonna be what? Probably Grand Consonance. Although I literally can't cast it right now either, so I don't mind if they name Grand Consonance. What does my deck have in the board for this matchup? Because I haven't looked yet. It has absolutely nothing. Wonderful. Who built this deck? Oh, well. Yeah, definitely should have fetched Island there. Oh wait, no, I can't play Speaker of On. Well, it will get countered, but what? Or I can't play Silver Sun. It's gonna get countered, but whatever. I tried. Far's Judgment, yeah, whatever. That's expected. My guys have flying, so I mean, I am racing them technically. All 3. Oh, Deacon. What? Why does this card cost 3? Oh no. Why is it 3 devotion? Feels way too easy to enable. Are you gonna take the hit? Okay, sure. Now I just need to draw blue so I can start dropping Genesis Spirals, or I need to draw Grand. Or I just need to not draw Grand Constance. Actually, why did I need to fetch Forest there anyways? No, I couldn't have held. I needed to pay 6 for Drift Off. So yeah, lesson learned. This deck has horrible mana, and Genesis Spiral should not belong. Genesis Spiral should be cut from this deck because it screws up your mana for not much advantage. I mean, at least they don't have a good way to stop my clock, right? Oh well, there we go. Yeah, that certainly does it. They're not gonna even copy Drift Off. They're just gonna make another copy of this thing. And they get to whack me for a bunch. Okay, what are my outs? I don't think I have any else because they have counter spells, so nothing I do really matters right now. They whack me for how much? 20? Okay, fine. I mean, so technically I'm only 4 off lethal, which means that like Fury Helen could have done it. Wonderful. I draw literally all my blue cards right after fetching Forest instead of Island. Fine, yeah. Thank you, deck. I think I definitely could have had a chance there if I just fetched correctly and play out my Genesis Spiral. Well, anyways, post board, this card sucks. Why am I playing it? And literally nothing good. Yeah, well, exile creatures. It gets rid of Ifara, technically, but I don't want to play this because it also gets rid of my creatures, and I'm on the beatdown. Is Crown Guard ban useful for anything? Is there any single card that really screws me over? I mean, if I get a board state, I could ban out Fall, and that's because that's their only board wipe, right? And they don't really well, they have a bunch of drift offs. Never mind. Yeah, I think the matchup just gets really bad for me post board, so I have to keep these guys in, and yeah, I have nothing good. Wonderful. Okay, I have to run this back. All right, game 2. Well, this hand's not great. I need a 2-drop, right? So I'm gonna mulligan. This hand has 1 land, and okay, I have to go down to 5. Well, I have to keep this, and yeah, no 2-drop still. And I did not get what I need. I think I'm gonna bomb Empirical Helion because I don't want to accidentally mastery myself. And I do want to play on curve, so I'm gonna keep it planes. I bomb Nascent well, yeah, Contested Patches, New Divide planes. That's my curve. And I'll play out Contested Passage first and fetch Forest. I might draw a 2-drop, in which case I definitely want to have New Divide as an option. You're gonna play their turn 1 enchantment. Sure. You're gonna choose Island. Okay, sure. Anyways, fetch Forest. Let's see what I draw. Mountain. Cool. I have no plays until turn 3, and they're gonna have counter spells up. I just know it. So who do I want to get countered? Arnsec or Ulfro? Arnsec's better to run out first, but if I think I play Ulfro just to get countered. Yeah, they have it. Well, I guess this is a good time to get the all land draw. Okay, so what do I do here? These can get my double colors. I still need to get triple green. How am I not drawing into my tri-lands? Do I run tri-lands in this deck? Yeah, I only run 2 of why? Okay, well, yeah, the mana isn't great. Okay, so what do I run into their counter spell? Nascent Lightbane might name blue. Yeah, that's probably naming blue. So I think I want to get my double colors now. I think double white is more important than double red right now. So yep. Okay, so on Acidic or Ulfro first. Does Ulfro do anything if the game I mean, it can plus the discard land. That's not what I want. Yeah, Ulfro is gonna get countered first. They play Omen of Deception. Cool. They have pass there. Like they didn't have any other 2-mana plays, right? But passing there wouldn't let me play around anything because oh cool. They have another Omen, and that suck for me. But drift offs. Okay, well, drift off train coming soon. So let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna play like this. Does this also get countered? Resolves, finally. Cool. Okay, give me something good. Fury Helion. That's exactly what I need. Or Speaker of On. Do I take Fury Helion for next turn? I don't think I can guarantee something resolving next turn, so I should just take Speaker of On, and that forces me to Nascent Lightbane for green, which might massacre myself again. Well, it lets me drift off later on. If they tap out for Ifara, I get to drift off. Is that a good exchange? If I take Fury Helion, I think I force them to not tap out anymore, right? But I don't have anything threatening them right now, so I can't, that's not very effective. If I take Speaker of On and play it now, it also makes my future draws really bad. Our future Fury Helion draws really bad, right? Yeah, it just massacres me in a lot of ways. So I need to take Fury Helion here. And then what? I play Nascent Lightbane, but I name Mountain. That massacres me if I draw Asahai. But I think I should just go for it. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. It feels bad, but I feel like it's probably correct. Because now they need to play around Fury Helion coming down next turn. They can't just keep up a counter spell, but looking at their deck, they don't actually have anything good to do on end step if they just keep up mana, right? I think I'm fine with, if I draw anything else that's good, well, that gets me blue. That's something. So do I want to play Fury Helion into the counter spell? The answer is yes. Okay, so I'm gonna blow up their manland. I always attack first. So I know they don't have an Omen of Deception because they would have played it otherwise. They might have Ifara's thingy, but I think getting them to play it now would be good because it prevents them from Yeah, using it later when they have enough devotion. Anyways, now I get to play Contested Passage and sack it in a turn for blue. And now I'm just relying on top decks. Or I can hope that they tap out for something and then I get to drift it off. You divide untapped. That's scary because okay, maybe they're tapping out for their 5-mana enchantment. That'd be nice because then I get to drift off. But somehow I doubt they're doing that. I think they're probably just playing a 3-drop and then keeping up Omen of Deception or something. Or playing a 2-drop and oh, okay, they get the full of no, they don't get the card draw at least. Okay, well, we just run drift off into this thing. Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, I'm gonna fetch Island now because oh, that's good. Okay, does this resolve? Resolves. Cool. Do I get anything good? I get Fury Calhelion, number 2. I think I take that. And then try to jam Fury Calhelion again next turn. Right. I can also take Running of the Bulls. I can't actually take Speaker of On because I'm mad screwed off of green for some reason right now. So yeah, which one's better? Running of the Bulls or Fury Calhelion? Might be Fury Cal... Oh, so Running of the Bulls is going to be a constant threat. It gets answered by less things than Fury Calhelion, but Fury Calhelion will always blow up something. Do you think I want to blow up their mana land eventually, right? Yeah, probably. I'll take Fury Calhelion. Even if it does get answered by more things, I think it's definitely scarier for them. And whack them for 1. Pass the turn. They pass. Yeah, that's scary. So what? Possibly board wipe. Oh, Genesis Spiral. Okay, well, that's the one time this card's maybe good. Do I want Fury Calhelion to eat the counter spell? Possibly. What do I need to worry about now that they have... I think it's just the board wipe, right? Otherwise, it's just Ifara's Judgment plus stuff. Against Benethels, they can copy a Course of Correction, and then that's enough devotion to enable 2 modes of Ifara's Judgment. And they can do both. No, they can't do both. So I definitely want to get something countered this turn. Well, I always attack first. I think Genesis Spiral is... If Fury Calhelion resolves, I get to keep them off mana. That has to be worth something. Well, Genesis Spiral gets its value... Do they have a board wipe? What am I trying to hedge against? I think I ran out Genesis Spiral because that thing's more value over time, and they don't have good ways to answer it that don't also answer Fury Calhelion. Yeah, I'll use that logic. Alright, show me your counter spells. Benethels. Yep, that's expect... Oh, they can copy... Oh, fine. I did not think of that. Okay, well, how do I get out of this? I just need to get good top decks, I think. Fury Calhelion should always be blowing up lands, I think. We're gonna play Bind and Silence, naming Fury Calhelion, probably. Yeah, maybe I should play out Fury Calhelion first, just for... No, they're not gonna do that. No, for some reason. Okay, they're gonna just counter the Fury Calhelion. And they have enough devotion for both modes of Ifara's Judgment. Okay. Well, I just have to hope they don't have Ifara's Judgment. Let's see. Grand Consonance. Cool. I can't cast it for 2 different reasons, or for 3 very different reasons. I guess I just run Fury Calhelion into the counterspell. Right. Yeah. Drift Off is 0 value right now. Drift Off gets rid of Bind and Silence, and I don't want to kill Benthos. Well, they can't get rid of Benthos or Drift Off at instant speed very easily, so it's still fine. I don't want to kill that. Drift Off would be like Bind and Silence Omen. Does that... I guess that technically takes them off Ifara's. Yeah, I'm just jamming Fury Calhelion. Darn, they had it. Unfortunate. Does attacking benefit me now? No, not really. They pass again. They have the Ifara's Judgment, probably. Oh, hey, look, I'm getting closer to casting Grand Consonance. Quote-unquote casting, I mean. Alright, I'm tapping out for Drift Off, or do I? No, I don't. I wait for a response. Or I wait for them to tap out for something. But they don't need to tap out for anything, right? What can they do instant speed that's good for them? I don't think they have... Yeah, they don't have anything that great. They can Ifara's Judgment for less than ideal value. I guess they can crack their Omens, but that's technically good for me. I just pass here. They don't have anything to do. Actually, I should have just done that way earlier, right? Another one of these guys? Fine. Okay, fine. I'm assuming they're naming Drift Off now, which prevents me from actually blowing these things up. They can also just name my other big thing in the deck. I think they're probably naming Drift Off, though. At least it's, like, not too much value. And they might run out of stuff eventually. Oh, okay, good. So I can Drift Off these 2 guys now. Finally have a Drift Off target. Even if it eats a counter spell, I think I'm fine with that outcome. Well, they need 2 counter spells to stop this thing, so I can get rid of the one on Grand Consonance. And then that means maybe they run out of counter spells again, and then I get to actually cast Grand Consonance for once. And make land for free. And they can do that now, yeah. Alright, I don't think anything I did this game really mattered, probably. Because basically everything I did got countered, right? Actually, maybe if I grabbed this Speaker of On instead of Fury Helion and top deck something instead, that would like massacre me off of Fury Helion, but it would let me cast Grand Consonance sometime down the line. Oh, cool. Alright, I finally get to play Fury Helion. Do I do the Drift Off or do I do the Fury Helion? I think Fury is way scarier. And also I do need to like not die to these things, so yeah, I kind of need to Fury those guys. Actually, I need to tap like this, just to kind of make them sweat a bit. Are they out of counters? Come on. Another one of these guys? Really? Fine. I'll just die to these two guys. I need to start chumping those guys now. Okay, well, they probably just threw into another one of those guys. They've gone through 3 already. Maybe they're out. How do I not die next turn? Because these guys are swinging. I need to start chumping, and I also can't get rid of these. So I need to draw a creature, basically. Well, if I cast Rift Off instead of the other thing last turn, maybe I could have done it. Well, there's Ifara is a decent target for Drift Off. I can Drift Off and get rid of Ifara and the Bind in Silence. That's at least worth something. Oh, they're slightly tapping out. That's good. Oh, is this going to go on Drift Off now? They can also name Fury Helion, I guess. Oh, Silver Sun. They're not going to name Drift Off. Okay, cool. Well, actually, I'm just dead on board even if I chump this turn. Only swing for 8. Okay. I need to double chump, right? Or else I just straight up die. Well, I die anyways, but playing like this means I need to get rid of these Bind and Silences too. I don't think I have an out here, but I do need to double chump here to reduce my chances of dying to stuff. Alright, what can come off the top? Cool. Wonderful. Well, I mean, I can't prevent myself from dying by exiling 2 things. But that means I can't do anything next turn. I need to hope to top deck another Drift Off, but I die to these guys anyways. I think if I didn't swing with Ardent Ascetic earlier, like in one of my early turns, I could have survived this. But unfortunately, I tried to go on aggression too much, and now I have to suffer for it. Well, let's see if this even resolves. It does. Well, unfortunately, I'm forced to make myself survive, right? Yeah, I don't have another choice, which kind of sucks. What's my... I can Ardent Ascetic into 2 Ardent. So I can like Ardent into Ardent. That might be it out. Another one of these. Okay. Yeah. Aim for 10. Fine. Is my top deck going to save me? Okay, well, I mean, that does finish the game faster, technically. Oh, okay, what is it? Unfortunate. Fine. Deck didn't do what I needed to do this game. Or these 2 games. Looks like this ambitious man base has finally caught up to me. Like, Asahi I think is fine. Genesis Pharaoh is definitely not worth splashing for, though. Yeah. Well, unfortunate. Anyways, yeah, see you next round.